Hello and welcome to the Marvel 2015 or Marvel Heroes 2015 review of
Uh-huh.
Facerollin.
Wait, what?
By Facerollin.
That
The
is.
Facerollin review of
There we
Marvel
go.
Heroes 2015.
There we go. We got it.
Um, yeah. So Marvel Heroes 2015
hmm
is an action RPG, aka a Diablo clone, but
Uh-huh.
with Marvel characters. And I feel like I don't know. Like I saw that I looked on Steam a few days ago to look how much Trevor has played, and I saw it was like 2.5 hours, and I'm like, yeah, that seems about right.
I feel like I played a little bit more than that.
Because
But
you got a character to like level 10, right?
I got a character to level 20.
Oh,
Whoa, what? Wow.
Yeah, I got Punisher to level 20.
wow.
What characters did we all pick? I guess let's start there. Who'd you all choose?
I picked Storm.
Right?
I picked Rocket Raccoon, not for Rocket Raccoon, but because Groot looked fucking terrifying.
Yeah, Groot looks fucking scary. Yeah, so like my experience was I started the game and it gave me a list of characters and I saw Frank motherfucking Castle, the Punisher, was on the list.
Uh-huh.
And I chose him and I ran around.
Frank Castle was in my list.
Really? Weird. Well, eventually you can switch to any of them, but anyway, like I picked him, I shot a bunch of dudes, I finished the first like quest or so, and then it was like you can switch to other characters, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yep.
Fine. I did eventually try out other characters, but all of them paled in comparison to the Punisher because, like, I like Miss Marvel, but you know, Carol Danvers has to walk up and punch somebody. I can just shoot him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I switched back. Squirrel Girl, I saw she was on the list, so I tried her out. And again, I got to get close. I don't care. Punisher has a move where you can hold down the button, get out a machine gun, start shooting, and then spin the mouse around and just kill everybody in the room. So I don't really see a need to play as anybody else, because I haven't found anyone else who has a move where they can just hold a button down and kill everybody.
Oh, let me tell you about my experience playing Rocket Raccoon.
Please.
I played as a. I immediately focused on getting as many like turrets and like making Groot my companion as strong as possible. So the moment like a big fight started, I pressed 3 buttons and just like I don't know, did something else.
That's great.
And like I'm not even kidding. Like I just pressed 3 buttons and then I just had a conversation with my girlfriend and like looked back and I didn't lose any health and I just picked up some loot.
Nice.
It's Marvel for you. Like I guess I will say I like the business model, right? Because once you hit like level 10, you can switch to any character. Like there are some you still have to like buy, like the newer ones you have to buy, but you could switch to almost any character and play them to level 10. And level 10's enough to be able to like get a sense of what your core abilities are going to be with that character. And then you have to choose one that you're going to like unlock, and that makes it so you can like level them to whatever the current cap is. And if you want to level any other characters, which the game really encourages you to do, like it really wants you to level other characters. But if you want to level any past 10, that's when you need to actually like pay money. But the first one you get for free.
Yeah.
And I think that's a decent business model. The problem is I don't know if, well, I know that the game did not get my money, and I don't feel. This is the first game for this podcast that I did not play a significant amount of by choice. I think
Yeah.
I finished almost every game we've done for this podcast. I got to chapter 3 in like the list of like things. Like the way the game works, right, is there's like explorable areas and then little zones that you go inside and do like a mission in. And the chapters are broken down into different areas. So like each chapter has like 4 different areas and they're like stuff to do there. I got to like chapter 3. I saw that there were still another like 7 chapters for me to do, and I was like, I can't do it. My brain is going to implode, and I just stopped playing.
Well, is it just because it's a rinse and repeat, or is it just?
There's a number of things, a number of problems that I had with Marvel 2015.
Yeah.
So,
to me Marvel 2015 is like so like almost a good game.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
One of the big things for me is the fact that when you get new gear, it doesn't show up on your character.
Yeah.
That's like really kind of boring and lame. Like I get it because then that would ruin like the image of the character, and like, but their faces are always so fucking ugly. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough game in terms of art assets.
And two, my second big thing. These are my only two things that make me not want to play the game. One, like the armor thing, and two, there's no impact to anything you do.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of shoot things. It plays kind of a sound effect, but it doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything. And then you just fall and die.
There is almost like no good player feedback in terms of whether or not you're hitting something, other than watching the light bar and seeing it tick down. Like
exactly.
Even as that was part of the reason that as the Punisher I felt best when I was just holding that button down and gunning the room down. Because as all the other characters, like even as Carol Danvers, when I ran up and punched somebody, I saw no physical reaction from them. Like their life bar went down, but it didn't really seem like I was like hitting them or knocking them back in any way. Yep. I did not feel like Carol Danvers, right? So like I understand what you mean there.
I felt the same way with playing Storm. Granted, I played very little of this game, but when I did, I didn't feel like I was Storm. I felt like I was playing Torchlight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Except Torchlight is a better game.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree that Torchlight is a better game because, like, I guess there's a story that goes along with this game, but it doesn't grip me.
So this was my other big issue is like you have this massive list of characters, and sometimes people on the street kind of respond to your character choice, right? Like I'd walk by a dude and they'd be like, "Hey, Frank Castle, the Punisher's here, everyone run away." But like overall, the character you pick doesn't really seem to matter.
No,
although your character does sometimes respond to other characters.
They do, which I appreciate.
That's kind of funny sometimes.
I did catch a little bit of that, and I did appreciate that. But like every time you pick up a quest, there's just this like massive text box that's like it's poorly written. Like to be honest, it's just like nothing in there is good. Like so, there's another Marvel game, right? There's Marvel like Puzzle Quest. I played that for a little bit.
Marvel Puzzle Quest?
Yeah, it's available on Steam for free.
What?
It's a free-play game. Yeah, we can do that one. So the Marvel Puzzle Quest game, I think, is a great example of how to do story in like a silly little game like this. Because the way it works is each chapter you're fighting like a different opponent, and there'll be like a little prelude, and there's like a little dialogue exchange between the characters, and it feels good. It all feels in character, and it only takes like 5 seconds. In this game, whenever you take a quest or whenever there's a conversation of any kind, it's just this massive fucking essay that doesn't feel like it's in character at all. It just feels like a paragraph of what you're supposed to do. And so that's a big bummer. Like if you're coming to this as a Marvel fan, that's where I think the game is going to fall flat for you because nothing feels in character except for what your voice, like your character is saying when they level up or when they do stuff.
And the things that they say seems kind of generic. Like I played Storm, right? And she's like, "I am the wind. I am a goddess. I am Storm." And it's like,
yeah, seems about right.
Nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Storm going around going, "I am Storm."
Yep.
That's
and like freaking Rocket Raccoon has like this like Chicago accent. It's weird.
Wait, does Rocky Raccoon have a Chicago accent in the game?
I always thought.
Yeah, in the game he does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, not. I mean, in the movie. Sorry.
No, in the movie he's like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, that's true. I would
Bradley Cooper played Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah, he did.
He has such breath.
He's him. He's a fucking great actor.
Yeah, holy shit.
He's a national fucking treasure.
Yeah, his acting ability is limitless.
Dude, he's like...
That was good. That was very good. Oh, man. Yeah, like, and this... So, here's probably my biggest thing about Marvel, right, is I feel like it was a Diablo clone first. Like, I feel like when people sat down, they were like, this is a type of game people like to play a lot. We should make our game like that. Instead of going, what can we do different? They just said, what can we do that's exactly the same? Like there's no reason for all those equipment slots. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason. There's the only reason for all those equipment slots to be there is because Diablo has them. That's
Yeah.
it.
I wonder.
You
I
literally
wonder if they
need
could
maybe
sue
like
them.
2 equipment slots in that game. One for armor,
Yeah.
one for a weapon. That's
Yeah,
it.
but no, they fill the fucking border with equipment slots. And like it's making this kind of game, I think, is difficult because there's a tough balance in any Diablo style like game between giving you like good loot and limiting the amount that you're getting. Because if every time you killed a boss, you got a shit ton of things, eventually it doesn't become as rewarding. Like,
And
it's like,
also, a
well,
lot of them are for characters you don't necessarily own.
that's another weird thing. That's like I understand. Like the game is always trying to encourage you to play other characters, and I understand why because that's how they make their money. And I think near the end game stuff, I saw people talking about like roles. Like I guess like characters actually have fill in like to certain roles later on in the game, so you have more characters available to you. You can fulfill those roles better. So I understand why they try to encourage that, but I think giving you pieces of equipment for a character you don't have and may never play is a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that was probably my biggest issue is it felt too much like a clone, like to the point where I didn't really feel anything creative coming out of it.
It just didn't feel like a Marvel game, you know.
Fair.
I mean, if in terms of like shittiness, it felt like a Marvel game, but it didn't feel like a Marvel product. It didn't seem like that they were taking the same care with the other aspects of their entertainment machine as they did with their video game, you know. And that's a shame because, like, okay, DC.
Real quick, I want to show a screenshot of a very early weapon that I found.
Okay.
That increases an ability that I have called My Friend Groot. This is the name of it.
I see a black screen.
Oh man, that's such a sweet black screen.
Here we go. Now we got a thing.
Can you see it?
Stimulating pistol of My Friend Groot. Oh, okay, here we go. Just make sure the safety's on when you board the helicarrier from Mariana Hill.
Yeah. So.
Thanks, White Raccoon.
Yeah. So you know, it's my friend's stimulating pistol.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you? That's fantastic. What were you gonna say, Kelly, about DC?
Oh, so DC Universe, you know, I feel like they hit a really good balance because, I mean, I didn't play a lot of DC UO, you know, I played probably until level 15. But I felt like when I played DC Universe, I was playing DC Universe, you know, and they had a lot of cool features that made it really cool, like talking with the Batman or talking with Wonder Woman and having her be like, hey, bitch, go do my thing because I'm too busy being a boss, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like they, granted, I didn't play a lot of Marvel Heroes 2015, but I feel like they were missing that, you know?
Yeah. No, I think the smart move in DC Universe was you made your own character.
Yeah.
And then they populate the world with the other characters when like the storyline calls for it. So that I think is a great structure for when you have a cast as huge as like a comic book like company, to just constantly have these rotating characters and still do them justice.
Do you think that there's any game where you can play as one of those characters and have it really be a fulfilling, I guess...
all of the Batman Arkham games?
Oh, that's true.
Those are great.
There's also those Marvel games on Xbox 360 that I don't remember the name of. Ultimate Alliance. Those were pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you remember that X-Men game on the GameCube back in the day?
I was just about to talk about that. X-Men Legends.
Go ahead.
X-Men Legends. Like Marvel 2015 reminded me of a worse version of X-Men Legends. I was actually like, there's a similar structure to Marvel 2015 as there is to those X-Men Legends game. Where like you do missions and then you go back to like a main facility, right? Because like after every mission in this game, every chapter you go back to the headquarters, like Shield HQ or whatever, and then you can walk around and sell stuff and talk to people. But none of that feels alive. Like all of that feels like it's just there to serve the purpose, right? Like you walk up to Jarvis and just throw all your shit at him that you don't need. You walk around and look for question marks, take them all, and leave again. In X-Men Legends, which had a similar structure where you do a mission and then you go back to the academy, when you went back to the academy, when you went and talked to people, there was actually like great back and forth conversations. Like you would go and talk to Nightcrawler and you could ask him about like his faith. You could ask him about how he became an X-Men. So there was a fantastic like structure around that. And I realized that Marvel can't do the same thing because you have so many characters that you could switch to. You can't have a personalized conversation for all of them, but you could still have that to fill out the world a little bit. Like if you were able to walk up to Jarvis and ask him about what it's like working for Tony Stark and he gave you like fucking snarky answers back, that would be a great way to still make that world feel alive instead of just sort of like the ho-drum fucking wasteland that it is.
Also, they really ruined an opportunity with the whole, let's put Stan Lee in the very first zone that you're in.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. It didn't even, like, it went over my head the first time. Someone else had to point it out to me. I didn't even notice.
Really? Then a quest giver is like, hey, talk to Stan Lee over there.
Totally didn't. I was just clicking my way through. I didn't even fucking notice.
Yep.
But yeah, like that's like the X-Men Legends game. They have like a similar like feel. Like they're the whole like same viewpoint. The combat's a little more involved than what you do in Marvel 2015. But yeah, like that structure, that loop works a lot better in that game than it does here. Yeah, like Marvel 2015, there is not a whole lot in there that I enjoyed. And I can usually force my way through really like bad games, but this one is worse than bad. It's boring. That's what I gotta say about it.
Yep, I agree.
I can't, like, there's nothing, like there's even in a bad game there is something on the horizon that I look forward to, right? Like the next fucking train wreck of a cutscene or something is still out there for me to see. And Marvel 2015, I didn't feel that way. Like there's those little animated cutscenes that happen between chapters, and they're not related to any of the shit that you're about to do. Like, they're great, they look neat, and they do pretty good justice to, like, the Marvel Universe, I guess, but, like, you watch a cutscene about, like, the Hulk or, like, the Avengers or something, but then you're just dropped into, like, Hell's Kitchen and you go around and beat people up and you never see any of those characters.
Yep.
So I don't understand what the point of those animated cutscenes is at all, because they don't have any context to what you're doing.
I feel like it's not bad, it's boring should be your back-of-the-box quote, because that's really concise and sad.
It is sad. And the really sad thing is there are people who probably worked on this game. There might be people out there who really thought they did a good job.
Maybe.
I feel like I try to be positive on the show. I'm not always, but I try to at least respect the fact that like work was done. But here you did a bad job. I'm sorry.
Being positive is overrated. You don't have to worry about that on this show.
I guess not. I mean, I did just make fun of Wendy Lee's entire career, like on the last episode. So
yeah, I mean, you weren't wrong.
I guess she's much more successful than I'll ever be. So there is that. What some guy says on the internet about her, I don't think is going to affect her bank account.
She's gonna listen to the podcast, and she's just gonna be like, Trevor Adamo, I'm coming for you.
Oh man.
I know where you live, and I've seen where you sleep.
Good thing I'm moving.
I don't remember that speech from Black Sheep.
So, do you guys have any other strong feelings about Marvel 2015?
I like a lot of the systems in it, I think. Like, I do like that there's a lot of different loot. I don't like that none of it shows up.
Yeah.
I hate the inventory system.
You know what? Like, fucking Punisher. I was finding assault rifles, grenade launchers, all this stuff. And it has no fucking impact on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the way my grenades work or my rifle works. Like, all of those things happen regardless of what weapon I have equipped, even though there's different types of weapons I can equip.
Yeah. And then, like, there was some, like, other systems that I didn't unlock yet because you unlocked them at, like, level 30 or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, more, and then crafting. Like, all this, like, systems, I think, are good. The gameplay is awful.
Yeah.
I feel like what bothers me is that it feels like this game was made to make money, and not as like, the goal wasn't to make a good game. The goal was to make money, and
Yeah.
that is what bugs me.
Yeah, so like I said, like the Puzzle Quest game, I didn't feel the same way about that. Like I mainly stopped playing that Puzzle Quest game because I had already played a lot of Puzzle Quests, and I didn't really feel the need to play more. But I felt like that game did pretty good justice to the characters. Like, because those little opening cutscenes, like they felt in character and they were short. They let you get into the game pretty quick, and all the abilities that you could activate as the heroes like relates to the hero really well. And I don't feel that way in Marvel 2015 about anything. I have nothing. I have nothing. I don't have anything good to say about the game, to be honest. Like, it looks pretty. It's colorful. It has that going for it.
Yep.
It's
So back of the box quote.
Marvel at the blandness.
This game makes me so sad. I wish it was more than it is.
Yeah.
Play Marvel Ultimate Alliance instead.
There you go. That's a good game.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, right?
Yeah. It came out on. There were two of them. It came out on the Xbox. One of them was actually like, I want to say, if it wasn't a launch title, it was really close to the launch of the 360.
Yep.
Oh wow.
The other one came out like a year or so later, and those games are actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I played the co-op with one of my friends. I had a lot of fun. I remember we found just a bunch of missiles down some dark alley. I picked one up and just threw it at him and killed him, and then I ended up having to do a boss fight alone.
Oh no!
And I won.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Because I was playing as Deadpool and he regenerates really quickly.
Hey, that came back. It's alive
Yeah,
again.
Deadpool and like a lot of Marvel games are back on Steam. Actually, I don't know about the other Marvel games, but Deadpool is back.
Yep.
For $40. Not worth it.
I mean, if you're a big Deadpool fan, I feel like those games kind of live up to it a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
Like for me, like the Deadpool game, what it did really well was the narrative structure. Like it is the perfect thing to do for a Deadpool game is to make the game about Deadpool wanting to make a game. That's genius. That's
Wait,
genius.
there's a Deadpool game?
Yeah, so the Deadpool game came out like a couple years ago, and then there was some like litigation over it. Like it was debate on who had the license and stuff, so they just pulled
Not just over it, but a whole bunch of Marvel games.
Yeah, like a whole bunch of Marvel games came down. They stopped being sold at different retailers, and it's back now. Came back actually this week.
Nice.
But yeah, like the structure of the game, the whole like narrative setup is Deadpool pitches a game and it gets declined, so he decides he's gonna go over to their fucking offices and make them make the game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that is the story of the game, which that's perfect for a Deadpool game. Fucking nailed that.
Yep. Alrighty.
Hey, do you see what happened there? We were talking about a game that sucks, and then we talked about a different game instead, because it's even though it's not great, it's still more interesting than Marvel 2015.
Yep. So this has been a review of Marvel Heroes 2015.
And a brief summary of Deadpool.
Barely even mediocre game.
This game will be forgotten by me.
Me too.
Oh,
Much
that's
like
so
Guild Wars 2
sad.
was.
How is that? Isn't that a real bummer? But that's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh my god, what if this game all it wanted to be good, but it never could because it just didn't have the people who believed in it?
Like
I don't believe in
Pinocchio.
it.
Yeah, like Pinocchio. Except this game won't grow into anything.
Okay. Like us on Facebook, SoundCloud, /Facerollin both. The end.
Sorry.
Next time, we'll be doing Rocket League.
Yeah, we will.
Yep. Alrighty. See you guys.
Bye-bye!